Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing I've learned from watching people chase success over the years, it's this. Most people don't really have a goal. They have a wish. And there's a world of difference between wishing and deciding. A wish says, I hope things get better someday. A decision says, from this day forward, things are going to change because I'm going to change. That single shift separates those who spend their lives waiting from those who spend their lives building. Think about it. Almost everyone wants to be healthier, wealthier, more confident, more successful, and more fulfilled. Ask a room full of people if they'd like a better life, and nearly every hand will go up. But wanting something isn't rare. Commitment is. Desire is common. Discipline is uncommon. The marketplace doesn't reward wishes. Life doesn't respond to hope alone. Life responds to action taken consistently over time. The first step toward achieving any goal isn't finding the perfect strategy. It isn't buying another book or attending another seminar. It's making a firm decision that your current situation is no longer acceptable. There comes a moment in every successful person's life when they draw a line in the sand and quietly tell themselves, enough. I'm not going to live this way anymore. That decision may happen in a single instant, but its effects can last a lifetime. You see, decisions have incredible power because they eliminate options. As long as you're still debating whether to pursue your goal, your energy is divided. One part of you wants to move forward while another part keeps searching for comfort. And comfort has a persuasive voice. It tells you to start tomorrow. It tells you to wait until conditions improve. It tells you that someday you'll have more time, more money, or more confidence. But tomorrow has stolen more dreams than yesterday ever could. Successful people aren't fearless. They simply stop waiting for fear to disappear before they act. Courage isn't the absence of uncertainty. Courage is choosing to move despite it. If you wait until every doubt is gone, you'll spend your life standing at the starting line while everyone else begins the race. Here's something else to remember. A decision without action is nothing more than entertainment. It's easy to get excited for a few days. It's easy to tell friends about your plans. It's easy to imagine a brighter future. But imagination alone doesn't change reality. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be is built one action at a time. You don't have to solve your entire future today. You only need to decide what you're going to do next. That's how progress works. One phone call, one workout, one page read, one skill practiced, one difficult conversation, 1 hour invested wisely. Small actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but repeated daily, they become extraordinary results. Many people underestimate the power of a single choice because they're looking for dramatic transformation. They think success arrives with fireworks. More often, it arrives quietly. It begins the morning you wake up and keep the promise you made to yourself. It grows every time you choose discipline over distraction, learning over laziness, and progress over excuses. Those little choices become habits, habits become character, and character determines destiny. Don't be discouraged because you're not where you want to be yet. Every expert was once a beginner. Every successful business started with one customer. Every great speaker spoke to a small audience. Every accomplished athlete struggled through awkward beginnings. Nobody starts at the finish line. The difference is that winners accept the beginning instead of fearing it. Your past doesn't have the authority to define your future unless you continue giving it permission. Maybe you've started before and quit. Maybe you've made promises to yourself that you didn't keep. That's behind you now. Every sunrise offers another opportunity to become someone stronger than you were yesterday. Your history explains where you've been, but it does not dictate where you're going. The truth is, your future is being shaped by the decisions you make today, not by the dreams you had yesterday. Every meaningful achievement starts with a commitment that refuses to negotiate with temporary feelings. Feelings come and go. Motivation rises and falls. But a genuine decision remains steady because it's rooted in purpose rather than emotion. So before you worry about techniques, before you search for shortcuts, before you wonder whether you're capable, ask yourself one simple question. Have I truly decided? Because once that answer becomes yes, your thinking changes, your actions change, your habits change, and eventually your life changes. The day you stop wishing and start deciding is the day your goals stop being dreams and start becoming your future. Now, once you've made that decision, something important has to happen next. A decision gives you direction, but direction alone isn't enough to sustain the journey. There will be mornings when you don't feel inspired. There will be days when progress seems invisible. There will be moments when you'll question whether all your effort is worth it. That's why you need something stronger than excitement. You need a vision that pulls you forward. You see, goals answer the question, what do I want? But vision answers the much deeper question, why does it matter? And if your why isn't clear, your determination won't last very long. People rarely quit because the goal is impossible. More often, they quit because they lose sight of the reason they started. Think about the people who accomplish extraordinary things. They aren't necessarily the smartest people in the room. They aren't always the most talented. Often, they're simply the people who have found a reason powerful enough to keep going when everyone else decides to stop. Their vision carries them through the difficult seasons. Take a few moments and imagine the life you're trying to build. Don't just think about the paycheck, the house, or the accomplishments. Think about who benefits when you succeed. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your children watching you become an example instead of hearing another excuse. Maybe it's the freedom to make choices without constantly worrying about money. Maybe it's the satisfaction of proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you've settled for. A meaningful vision isn't about impressing other people. It's about becoming the person you were created to become. Chasing someone else's definition of success is exhausting because it never truly belongs to you. But when your vision reflects your own values, your own purpose, and your own dreams, every sacrifice begins to make sense. Too many people spend years climbing a ladder only to discover it's leaning against the wrong wall. They pursue what society applauds instead of what gives them genuine fulfillment. Success without purpose eventually feels empty. Achievement without meaning becomes another burden to carry. Before you dedicate years of your life to a goal, make sure it's leading you toward a life you'll actually enjoy living. Your vision should excite you enough that it changes the way you approach today. If thinking about your future doesn't influence your present decisions, then it isn't yet clear enough. A powerful vision has a remarkable effect on daily choices. Suddenly, reading a book instead of scrolling your phone doesn't feel like a sacrifice. Waking up early doesn't feel like punishment. Learning a new skill isn't an inconvenience. Those actions become investments in the future you've already committed yourself to creating. It's amazing how much easier discipline becomes when you stop focusing only on what you're giving up and start focusing on what you're gaining. Most people look at discipline and see restriction. Successful people look at discipline and see freedom. Every wise decision today purchases more opportunities tomorrow. Every hour spent improving yourself opens doors that were previously locked. Of course, there will still be obstacles. Don't believe that having a strong vision means life suddenly becomes easy. It doesn't. You'll face setbacks. You'll experience disappointment. Some people won't understand what you're trying to accomplish. Others may even discourage you because your ambition reminds them of the dreams they abandoned. Don't let someone else's limited expectations become the ceiling for your own life. Instead, protect your vision. Guard it carefully. Not everyone deserves access to your dreams in their early stages. A seed doesn't become a mighty tree overnight. It needs time to grow beneath the surface before anyone can appreciate its strength. In the same way, your vision needs consistent attention. Feed it with good books. Feed it with positive influences. Feed it with conversations that challenge you to grow rather than settle. One of the greatest habits you can develop is taking a few minutes every day to remind yourself why you're doing all this. Picture the future you're building. See yourself overcoming obstacles instead of surrendering to them. Imagine the confidence that comes from keeping promises to yourself. Those mental pictures are not fantasies. They're reminders of the direction you're choosing every single day. Remember, life has a way of testing the sincerity of your commitment. It will ask, do you really want this, or was it just a passing emotion? Your answer isn't found in your words. It's found in your persistence. Every time you continue, despite inconvenience, you're telling life that your vision matters more than your comfort. As your vision grows stronger, you'll notice something remarkable. Motivation becomes less important because purpose takes its place. You stop relying on feelings to determine your actions. You begin acting because you know exactly where you're going and why it matters. That's the kind of mindset that creates lasting success, not temporary enthusiasm, but unwavering clarity. When your vision becomes bigger than your excuses, your future begins to pull you farther than your fears can hold you back. Now, once your vision is clear, there's another lesson that separates dreamers from achievers. A vision gives you direction, but your daily disciplines determine whether you ever arrive. This is where many people lose momentum. They become so focused on the size of the goal that they overlook the importance of the next simple step. It's easy to become overwhelmed when you think about everything that has to happen before you reach your destination. If you want to build a successful business, improve your health, write a book, or achieve financial independence, the goal can seem enormous. Looking at the whole mountain at once can make you question whether you're capable of climbing it. But successful people rarely think that way. They ask a much better question. What's the next step? Life is not won in giant leaps. It's won in small victories repeated consistently. We often admire the finished product without appreciating the daily process that created it. We see the successful entrepreneur, but we don't see the thousands of conversations, the long nights, and the lessons learned from failure. We see the healthy, confident person, but we don't see the workouts they completed when they didn't feel like exercising. Every impressive result has an ordinary routine hiding behind it. The mistake many people make is waiting until they feel motivated before they begin. But motivation is unpredictable. Some mornings you'll wake up excited. Other mornings you'll wake up tired, distracted, or discouraged. If your progress depends on how you feel, your progress will always be inconsistent. Discipline, however, doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline simply asks, what needs to be done today? That's why habits are so powerful. Habits remove unnecessary decisions. Instead of debating whether you'll take action, you simply follow the routine you've already established. Imagine how much energy you waste every day negotiating with yourself. Should I work on my goal today? Maybe I'll start tomorrow. Maybe I'll wait until I have more time. Those conversations quietly steal your future. A disciplined habit ends the debate before it begins. Don't underestimate the value of small actions. Reading 10 pages a day may not seem life-changing. Saving a little money every week may not feel significant. Practicing a skill for 30 minutes each day may appear too simple to matter. But remember, success isn't created by one extraordinary effort. It's created by thousands of ordinary efforts compounded over time. Notcher teaches this lesson beautifully. A tree doesn't become strong overnight. It grows a little every day. Its roots reach deeper before its branches reach higher. From the outside, it may look like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, strength is quietly being built. Your life works the same way. Every disciplined action is strengthening the roots of your future, even if no one else can see the progress yet. One of the greatest enemies of achievement is perfectionism. Too many people refuse to begin because they can't begin perfectly. They wait for the ideal conditions, the perfect plan, or the perfect opportunity. But perfection is a moving target. If you chase perfection, you'll spend your life preparing instead of progressing. Give yourself permission to start imperfectly. Your first attempt doesn't have to be your best attempt. Your first speech won't be your greatest speech. Your first investment won't make you wealthy overnight. Your first workout won't transform your body. The purpose of beginning isn't to impress anyone. The purpose is to create momentum. Momentum is one of life's greatest gifts. Once you're moving, staying in motion becomes much easier than starting from a complete stop. That's why the first 5 minutes of any important task are often the hardest. Once you've begun, resistance starts to disappear. Action creates confidence. Progress creates enthusiasm. One completed task makes the next task feel more achievable. It's also important to stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. In today's world, you're constantly exposed to other people's highlights. You see their success, but rarely witness the years of quiet preparation that came before it. Comparison can make steady progress feel insignificant. But remember, you're not competing against everyone else. You're competing against the person you were yesterday. Measure your progress by your consistency, not by your speed. Some days you'll accomplish more than others. That's part of the journey. What matters most is refusing to break the habit. Even on difficult days, do something. It may be a small step, but small steps maintain momentum, and momentum creates transformation. Every evening, ask yourself a simple question. Did I move closer to my goal today? If the answer is yes, no matter how small the progress, you're winning. A single page written is better than an unwritten chapter. A single workout is better than another excuse. A single conversation can open the door to a lifetime of opportunity. Never forget that your future isn't built by what you occasionally accomplish. It's built by what you consistently repeat. Your daily routine is quietly writing the story of your life. If you don't like the direction of the story, you don't need to rewrite the entire book overnight. You simply need to change today's page. Great achievements are nothing more than small disciplines practiced faithfully until they become extraordinary results. By now, you've made a decision. You've built a vision that gives your life direction. You've started turning that vision into daily disciplines. But there's another challenge waiting for every person who sets out to achieve something worthwhile. It's a challenge that quietly destroys more dreams than lack of talent, lack of opportunity, or lack of intelligence ever could. That challenge is the habit of making excuses. Excuses are incredibly convincing because they usually contain a little truth. Maybe you really did have a difficult childhood. Maybe you weren't given the same opportunities as someone else. Maybe the economy changed. Maybe someone disappointed you, broke a promise, or closed a door that you hoped would open. Those things are real, and they can make the journey harder. But here's the important question. Do those circumstances explain where you are, or are they going to determine where you stay? There's a tremendous difference between an explanation and an excuse. An explanation helps you understand the past. An excuse gives you permission to remain there. Successful people acknowledge reality without surrendering to it. They don't waste years wishing life had been easier. They ask, given where I am today, what can I do next? That question changes everything. The moment you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can I learn from this? You begin taking back control of your life. You may not control every event that comes your way, but you always have influence over your response. And often, your response matters far more than the event itself. It's easy to believe that someone else is holding you back. Sometimes you'll point to your boss, sometimes to your family, sometimes to your finances, sometimes to your age. If you're young, you think you're too inexperienced. If you're older, you think you've started too late. Isn't it interesting how the mind can always find a reason not to move? The truth is, if you spend enough time looking for excuses, you'll always find them. Life offers an endless supply. But if you spend that same energy looking for solutions, you'll discover opportunities that were invisible before. The direction of your attention determines the direction of your life. One of the greatest turning points you'll ever experience is realizing that responsibility is not a burden. It's a gift. Many people hear the word responsibility and immediately think of pressure. But responsibility actually gives you something priceless. Power. If your future depends entirely on other people changing, then you're trapped. But if your future depends on the choices you make today, then you have hope every single morning you wake up. Think about that for a moment. Every day places a fresh set of decisions in your hands. You decide whether to learn or complain, whether to prepare or procrastinate, whether to blame or build. These decisions may seem ordinary, but repeated over months and years, they shape extraordinary lives. Now, accepting responsibility doesn't mean pretending you have all the answers. It doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes. Quite the opposite. Responsible people are willing to admit when they're wrong because they understand that honesty is the fastest path to growth. Pride says protect your image. Wisdom says improve your character. Failure is not your enemy. Refusing to learn from failure is. Every successful person has made poor decisions. Every successful person has experienced disappointment. Every successful person has invested time, effort, or money into something that didn't work out. The difference is that they refuse to let those moments define them. Instead of asking, who can I blame, they ask, what can this experience teach me? Imagine how much faster you would grow if every setback became a classroom instead of a courtroom. Instead of putting your circumstances on trial, begin putting your habits under examination. Instead of criticizing life, evaluate your choices. That's where lasting improvement begins. Here's another truth that can transform your future. Nobody is coming to rescue you. Now, that may sound uncomfortable, but it's also incredibly freeing. The day you stop waiting for someone else to solve your problems is the day you begin discovering your own strength. Stop waiting for perfect timing. Stop waiting for ideal conditions. Stop waiting for someone to recognize your potential before you recognize it yourself. You already possess something more valuable than favorable circumstances. You possess the ability to choose your next action. And your next action is always more important than your last mistake. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Every time you follow through instead of making another excuse, your character becomes stronger. Confidence isn't built by talking about success. It's built by proving to yourself, one decision at a time, that you can be trusted. People often ask why some individuals seem so resilient. The answer is simple. They've developed the habit of ownership. They don't waste emotional energy arguing with reality. They accept what is, learn what they can, and immediately begin working on what comes next. That mindset changes everything because it replaces helplessness with action. And action, even imperfect action, has a remarkable way of creating possibilities that excuses can never reveal. So from this day forward, refuse to let excuses write your story. Circumstances may influence your path, but they never have to determine your destination. The strongest people are not those with the easiest lives. They are those who choose responsibility when excuses would have been easier. The moment you take full responsibility is the moment you take full control of your future. At this point, you've made a firm decision. You've discovered a vision that gives your efforts meaning. You've committed yourself to daily disciplines, and you've accepted full responsibility for the direction of your life. Now comes the part of the journey where many people quietly give up, not because they lack ability, but because they mistake silence for failure. They expect immediate rewards, and when those rewards don't appear, they begin to wonder if all their effort is pointless. Let me tell you something that can save you years of frustration. Just because you can't see progress doesn't mean progress isn't happening. We live in a world that celebrates instant results. We want quick success, quick recognition, quick rewards, and quick answers. But life rarely works that way. The greatest achievements take time. The strongest foundations are built slowly. The most valuable transformations happen beneath the surface long before anyone notices them. Think about planting a seed. After you place it in the ground, you don't dig it up every morning to see if it's growing. You water it, you protect it, you trust the process. For days, maybe weeks, it appears that nothing is happening. But beneath the soil, something remarkable is taking place. Roots are spreading. Strength is developing. Life is forming where your eyes cannot yet see it. Your goals work the same way. Every day you choose discipline over comfort, you're growing roots. Every chapter you read, every skill you practice, every promise you keep to yourself is strengthening your foundation. The world may not applaud those quiet moments. In fact, no one may notice them at all. But success isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the unseen hours when no one is watching. One of the greatest tests you'll ever face is remaining faithful to the process before the results become visible. Anyone can stay motivated after they receive praise. Anyone can work hard after they see immediate success. But can you continue when your efforts seem invisible? Can you stay committed when the only evidence of progress is the person you're becoming? That's where character is formed. Character isn't revealed on easy days. It's revealed on ordinary Tuesdays when you're tired, when you're busy, when you don't feel inspired, and yet you choose to do what needs to be done anyway. Those are the moments that shape your future far more than the exciting milestones everyone celebrates. Don't measure your life only by visible achievements. Measure it by the habits you're strengthening, the wisdom you're gaining, and the discipline you're developing. Results are important, but they are often delayed. Growth, however, is happening every single day you remain committed. There will be moments when doubt begins to whisper. It will ask questions like, is this really worth it? Or what if nothing changes? Those questions visit every person pursuing something meaningful. The difference is that successful people don't allow temporary doubt to become a permanent decision. They acknowledge the uncertainty, but they keep moving. Remember this. Feelings are temporary, but consequences are lasting. If you stop today because you don't see results, you'll never know how close you were to a breakthrough. So many people quit just before the reward arrives. They spend months building momentum, learning valuable lessons, and developing stronger habits, only to abandon the journey because success didn't arrive according to their schedule. Life doesn't always reward effort immediately, but it always rewards consistency eventually. You have to learn to trust the law of accumulation. Small improvements don't seem impressive from one day to the next. Reading a few pages doesn't instantly make you an expert. Saving a little money doesn't immediately create financial freedom. Exercising today won't transform your body tomorrow morning. But stack those small actions over months and years, and you'll look back amazed at how far you've come. Never underestimate the power of persistence. Persistence has a quiet strength about it. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't demand attention. It simply keeps showing up. While others are distracted by shortcuts, persistent people continue doing the simple things well. While others chase the latest trend, persistent people keep building on timeless principles. Eventually, the gap between those who stayed consistent and those who gave up becomes impossible to ignore. Another lesson you'll discover is that patience isn't passive. Patience doesn't mean sitting back and hoping everything works out. Patience means continuing to work with confidence while understanding that meaningful success has its own timetable. You're not waiting for life to happen. You are actively preparing yourself for the opportunities that are on their way. Every challenge you overcome makes you stronger. Every delay teaches you resilience. Every setback develops wisdom that success alone could never provide. One day you'll realize that the journey itself prepared you for the destination. Had success come earlier, you might not have been ready to sustain it. So don't become discouraged if your progress feels slow. Slow progress is still progress. What matters isn't how quickly you're moving compared to someone else. What matters is that you're still moving. Keep planting. Keep learning. Keep working. Keep believing. Keep showing up. Especially on the days when it seems to make the least difference. Because one day, what looked like ordinary effort will produce extraordinary results. The harvest always belongs to those who refuse to stop tending the field, stay faithful to the process, and one day the results will speak louder than your doubts. As we come to the final part of this journey, I want you to see something that many people spend their entire lives overlooking. We've talked about making a decision. We've talked about building a compelling vision. We've talked about daily disciplines, accepting responsibility, and staying consistent even when the results aren't visible. But all of those lessons point to one greater truth. Your greatest achievement will never be the goal itself. Your greatest achievement will be the person you become while pursuing it. Think about it for a moment. Imagine you reach every goal on your list. You earn the income you wanted. You build the business you dreamed about. You achieve the level of success you've always imagined. Those accomplishments will certainly feel rewarding. But what will matter even more is the character you developed along the way, because goals can be reached and replaced. Character stays with you for the rest of your life. Too many people believe success is something they chase. They think it's hiding somewhere in the future, waiting to be found. But lasting success doesn't begin on the outside. It begins on the inside. Before life changes around you, something must change within you. The opportunities you attract tomorrow are often determined by the person you're becoming today. That's why personal development is such a worthwhile investment. Every book you read expands your thinking. Every conversation with a wise person stretches your perspective. Every challenge you overcome strengthens your confidence. Every mistake you honestly examine teaches you something no classroom ever could. Life is constantly offering lessons to those who are willing to learn. Never stop being a student. The moment you believe you've learned everything is the moment you stop growing. The most successful people remain curious. They ask better questions. They seek better answers. They understand that learning isn't something you finish when school ends. Learning is a lifelong commitment. If your income stops growing, perhaps your knowledge has stopped growing. If your progress has slowed, maybe your learning has slowed as well. The wonderful thing about personal growth is that nobody can do it for you, and nobody can take it away from you. Someone can lose a job. Someone can lose money. Someone can lose possessions. But the discipline you've developed, the wisdom you've gained, and the habits you've built remain part of who you are. Those qualities become your greatest assets because they allow you to create success again and again. Another important lesson is to become someone who keeps promises, especially the promises made to yourself. Every time you say you're going to wake up early and you do it, you're strengthening your self-respect. Every time you commit to learning a new skill and remain faithful to that commitment, you're building trust within yourself. Confidence isn't something you wish for. It's something you earn through consistent integrity. Integrity is doing the right thing even when nobody is watching. It's easy to appear disciplined when people are paying attention. The real test comes in private moments. What do you choose when no one would ever know the difference? Those quiet decisions shape your future far more than public moments ever will. As you continue growing, you'll also discover that success becomes more meaningful when it benefits others. There comes a point where achievement is no longer just about what you can accumulate. It becomes about what you can contribute. The knowledge you've gained can encourage someone else. The wisdom you've earned through hardship can guide another person through their own challenges. Your example can inspire people who may never hear your name but will forever remember your influence. That's one of life's greatest rewards. Not simply reaching the top of the mountain, but extending your hand to help someone else climb. And don't be afraid to dream even bigger once you reach your first goal. Growth is never meant to end. Every achievement opens the door to new possibilities. The purpose of accomplishing one goal isn't to become comfortable. It's to become capable of serving, leading, and contributing at an even greater level. Always remember that success is not a destination where you finally arrive and stop growing. Success is a way of living. It's choosing excellence over mediocrity. It's choosing learning over complacency. It's choosing courage over comfort day after day, year after year. When you become this kind of person, something remarkable happens. You stop chasing every opportunity because opportunities begin finding you. People trust you because you've become dependable. Doors open because you've prepared yourself to walk through them. Challenges no longer intimidate you because you've developed the strength to face them. Success is no longer an accident. It becomes a natural result of who you are. So don't make your life about reaching one finish line. Make your life about becoming stronger, wiser, kinder, more disciplined, and more valuable with every passing year. If you focus on becoming the right person, the goals you've been pursuing will often arrive as a byproduct of your growth. Your future is not created by the goals you set. It is created by the person you choose to become every single day. And when you become the right person, achieving your goals is no longer a matter of chance. It becomes a matter of time.